Hey, what's up guys? Tito here with Aloha Android, and thought I would sit outside and vlog this today, basically kind of explaining a little bit more in depth. So if you guys caught my last video about the Pebble Watch, best in class but now dead, we're going to dive down a little bit deep to kind of understand exactly what's going on here for those people, so you guys understand what's going on. So for those who obviously know, Pebble, well, its intellectual property was bought by Fitbit for $40 million. Now, the biggest question that comes to a lot of consumers' minds is, if I have a Pebble watch, how long will it last? How long will it work for? And that's the big key question here, as technically Fitbit can pull the plug on the servers given any second. It could have happened right now. We wouldn't know. Of course, Pebble did kind of put out an email letting everyone know that Pebble watches are not going to be supported anymore. You can't be expecting any more OS updates. Basically means you're SOL. You're on your own. And it's kind of sad though, because when you kind of think about the Pebble watch and what it is and what it does, it's probably, again, like I said in my last video, best in class. It actually performs very well. It's got tremendously great battery life, so that's one of the big quintessential things about the Pebble watch that makes it so much better, is that not only does it deliver notifications to your to you without having the need to pull out your smartphone, without having the need to have your notification ringer on your device on. You can actually turn the whole thing off and just have like your media volume up, as the watch will give you notifications for just about anything, from Instagram to Facebook notifications, Twitter notifications, text messages, emails. All that stuff goes through notifications. And then there is a plethora of different applications that you can use on there. Like there's one called Pebble, which is basically a Twitter client, and you can pretty much look at your Twitter feed without actually having to go onto your smartphone and look in your Twitter app. You can actually do it from your smartwatch. So these are some of the things that were really awesome about Pebble. And sure, once Samsung and Apple and Motorola and Huawei and all these other companies started making smartwatches, it kind of did drown out Pebble, as far as like some people would look at a Pebble and misidentify it for something else. They would look at a Pebble and think that it was too plain Jane blah, because again, consumers, we find even the most things like a touchscreen smartwatch to be something to like joyously brag about, not realizing in the end, when we actually purchase those touchscreen smartwatches, we tend to get fed up with the fact that it is not giving us something that we need, which at the end of the day, with all the features you can pack into a smartphone, that you can pack into a smartwatch, the one thing that everyone, whether they want to agree with right now or not, absolutely need in a electronic device is battery life. That is the number one thing. You can have the most powerful smartphone, whatever. If it doesn't have great battery life, if it kills off so fast, it completely defeats the purpose of actually having one. So Pebble being for what it was, you can get 5 days of battery life on this smartwatch without having to have the need to recharge it. And that goes great. That goes good, because less chargers you would have to carry. I mean, people can go on vacations, mini vacations, like 3 days out to like another city just to look around, and you charge up your watch and for a fact you're good to go until you come back from your vacation trip. So you can get a week out of these things. These things were immensely good. The sad thing is that they're no longer supported anymore, and the fear in the fact that Fitbit will pull the plug on the servers, which basically renders this thing to be completely useless. Here's my thing though, and this is what I'm going to convey out there, and that is the simple fact that I have no interest in purchasing. That was a bee that just flew by me. But I have absolutely no interest in buying a Fitbit smartwatch. Even if they were to pull the plug on Pebble and completely render it useless, paperweight, or just a nice decoration to the wrist, maybe just a basic watch without any other notifications, it would not have me go and buy a Fitbit, because that is the absolute reason why Fitbit purchased Pebble. It was to kill competition. It was never to grab it and run it as a separate entity, or grab it and say, here comes the Pebble 3 by Fitbit. No, they never had that intentions in mind. It was competition that they wanted to kill off, and thus they did. And of course, Pebble being that arrogant, a lot of people were upset about it because of the fact that, you know, backstory to Pebble and why they were so successful is that they started a Kickstarter campaign when they first were going to launch the Pebble 1, and their asking price was for 1 million in donations, basically in support, and not donations, but like donated, like investors. And they raised more than one. They actually raised close to, I think it was like 10 million or a little bit above 10 million. And so you have the Pebble and the Pebble Steel. Two versions. You have the Pebble, which was like a sporty look. You had the Pebble Steel, which is a more classier look. And then from that, then came the Pebble Time, the Pebble Time Steel, the Pebble Time Round. And it was like, okay, people kind of just like, oh, this is a new generation of Pebble watches. But then came the Pebble 2, which was announced to be the successor to the Pebble 1. And it pretty much brings the same form factor, the same style, the e-paper display and all that stuff. And people were wondering, like, okay, so what was the Pebble Time to it? Of course, obviously the Pebble Time had a color display, which, you know, some people were just nitpicky about. They're like, I want to see some color, and they got color. But the thing about all of this is that, you know, they went again and did another Kickstarter campaign. And I think that's what some consumers were more concerned about, was like, okay, you know, you guys grew as a business, you guys got, you know, bigger, so why are you asking for more donations? That was the thing that was kind of like, what are you guys doing? Of course, obviously, you know, maybe there was some arrogance in play. We don't know, because we were never at their headquarters of Pebble and had to deal with all the internal company drama. However, what we do know, and what the saddest thing is that there's nothing by Fitbit stating that this will be supported for another 2 years, another month. So we're just basically on borrowed time right now. Just at any given point, they could actually kill off or pull the plug on Pebble servers, and boom, our smartwatches is rendered useless. Could someone else come out of the woodwork and create an OS that could be, you know, like a third-party OS side-loaded and bring some life back into this? There's a possibility. It's technology, okay? Technology never really stops. You can always evolve it. It takes a great mind with, the determination to do this, and there might be a developer out there who may go on to actually create an operating system that would run on old Pebble watches. So basically, all you would need is just a shell, which is the hardware, and there would be a software that will have some support. And I think it would be cool if a developer actually stepped up and did that. I mean, there's so much custom ROMs for flagship devices on XDA and on Android forums. It would be super cool if a dev would actually develop an OS that would run on a Pebble watch and basically be backed by a bunch of different developers bringing different ideas and different applications and features to the Pebble watch, bringing a whole new life back into it. That would absolutely be cool. But for at this time right now, should anyone go out there and buy a Pebble watch? Well, if you want to own one for a nostalgic reason, or maybe just to say that you have something that is considered legacy, then yeah, definitely go for it. But if you're trying to get one because you want to have a smartwatch that has functionality and features, then I would say no at this point. After doing my research, no, because once they pull those servers, a lot of things is going to render this thing useless, possibly. So, it's a sad day in the world for Pebble. And I know, like, a lot of people look for the more fancier smartwatches or things like that. And, good on you. I mean, to each his own. But for me, I always felt, and I mean, come on, I've only bought one Pebble watch. That tells you guys exactly how good this thing is. If I didn't have to go and buy a second one. I actually wanted to get the Pebble 2 for the upgraded features that the Pebble 1 doesn't have. But right now, I don't think there's really a point for me to actually buy a Pebble 2 if it's not gonna work. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed my rant about the Pebble smartwatch and the whole Fitbit acquisition of Pebble, then smash that like button to let me know. Links on the display right here. You guys can click to subscribe and check out my previous video. And yeah, there'll be another video today. We're gonna do the LG Tribute HD versus Samsung Galaxy J3, so be on the lookout for that. My name's Tito with Aloha Android. Thanks for checking out my rant. As always, aloha.